Hi, welcome once again. This is Career Campus UG. Now, today I want to talk about AI and the future of a student in Uganda. For those who may not know, AI simply means artificial intelligence. This is a technological advancement in how a lot of things are being done. Now, for those who have one or two ideas about it but are not very certain, this is intelligence that has been around for quite some time. But what has happened is that there has been a lot of improvement. So, previously, let me just give an example. We had a periodic timetable behind our books, that we needed to master. Or some of us used to call it multiplication table. And you needed to master 1 times 2, 5 times 10, 20 times, 5. But now we have a calculator, and I'm sure most of you have interacted with a calculator. So there is a certain, intelligence within that calculator that is able to, run the maths without necessarily you doing it manually. We used to have another example I could use, map reading. We used to, do map reading, have a large map, and then were requested to always calculate the distance between point A to point B and calculate the time it will take. But now, with AI-enabled platforms like, GPS, we can now go directly to Google Maps and be able to know the distance between given points and also know how long it will take just with a click. And we have also seen a lot of advancement as well in the banking sector. Before we used to make very long lines to deposit our money, but now we have, you could go to just an ATM and be able to deposit your money. That ATM that you're seeing, behind it there is an AI-enabled, system that is able to detect the money that you've put in, be able to count it, and be able to issue you a receipt. So where we used to have very many tellers, now we no longer have many tellers because there is advancement of that artificial intelligence. And in many other places, if you wanted to do some designing, graphic work, you wanted to do some writing, there are a lot of these AI-enabled platforms that can help you do that same work. Now, of course, a lot of jobs, could end up disappearing, but also a lot of new jobs could be created because of these AI platforms. Now, as a student, and as a parent of a student or a teacher, every learner needs to master these skills to be able to succeed in this age of artificial intelligence. And these are some of the skills that I want to mention today. Skill number one is the skill of reading. Reading, reading, reading. They have always said that if you want to hide something from an African, hide it in a book. Let this not be something that relates with you. A student or a young person needs to be able to read, to have information, to have knowledge. And one of the key information or knowledge that young people need to have is to know the different AI platforms and what they do and start practicing to use them. Because in future, you will require an employee, or an employer will require an employee who has knowledge of using these platforms because they can deliver quickly and instantly. Then the other skill is the skill of problem solving. Yes, whereas AI may give us some solutions to some problems, but does not run the entire context, say, of our communities, of our societies. So you need somebody who can be able to understand the problem in a community and also be able to articulate the right solution based on the cultural norms, based on the circumstance, the events. So it is not just about an AI solution, but it is a solution that speaks to the norms, the values, the cultures of that given community or that target group that somebody's trying to solve for a problem. So problem solving will be a very key critical skill. Then the other skill is the skill of communication. Yes, we are always on these platforms, we are always on our gadgets, on the computers, on our tabs, on our phones, but you need to master the art of communication, because you need somebody, or the future requires somebody who can stand and convince people, be able to articulate a problem and a solution, and be able to convince people to support him or her. If they are selling a product, they are selling a service, you need to have these skills of communication in writing, in presentation. So if you don't have this skill, even with all the knowledge, you may not be able to convince more people, you know, to buy your product, buy your service, to support you in a given cause. So you need this strong skill of communication. And then the other last skill for today that I want to share is the skill of teamwork. All these platforms require people to work together, require, you know, people to come together to address a given solution, a problem, and get a solution for it. So you need to be able to work with different teams, to work with people of different cultures, to work with people of different beliefs, to have the level what we would call emotional intelligence. If you don't have the skill of teamwork, then it will be very hard for you to fit in any given society, in any given workplace, in any given community. So every learner needs to master this. And if you're a parent or teacher, you need to make sure you support your learners to be able to master these skills. In my other videos and other episodes, I'll be sharing how you can be able to help your student or your child to be able to master these skills. So watch out and look out for those other videos that I'll be sharing. So thank you so much for watching. If you loved this video, please do not hesitate to subscribe and to like this video. Thank you and have a wonderful day.